Hi, and welcome to Fuck Around and Get Paid, the podcast that's here to help you follow your brand of fun straight to the bank. I'm your host, Jennifer Liss, and in this episode, we are going to talk about shifting your perspective in the age of AI and how that can lead to more joy, more fun, more ease, and more abundance. Yep, that means more money straight in your pocket. We're going to dive into all things related to AI, the way that I'm seeing a difference, that we can be looking at the world in a new way when it comes to robo technology and what is happening. Maybe that interests you, maybe it doesn't, but there is something in this for you. Tune in, my friend, and let's dive right in. I want to start this episode with a quote from the wonderful Wayne Dyer. When you change the way you look at things, the things that you look at change. This quote is so profound in every way. So today, Joey and I went to the rhododendron garden. Do you even know what a rhododendron is? I did not until we moved to Portland. It's a very common word, a thing that is everywhere here in the spring. These beautiful flowers that I thought were hibiscus when we very first moved here. I was like, what are these amazing magical flowers? Well, they're called rhododendrons, but is it rhododendron or rhododendron? Oh, we will have to Google that and somebody can correct me. Does it end in an M or an N? I'm actually not sure right now. Anyway, this garden is so beautiful and packed with these glorious, glorious blooms. If you ever want to see them in full bloom, come up in the very end of April, early May in the Pacific Northwest. They are everywhere and they're beautiful. But we're walking through and I go to look at this one bush and Joey and I'm like, oh my gosh, they're so purple. And he said, they are. And he took off his sunglasses and he's like, they are purple. To him, through his lenses, they were blue because he has a blue tint to his lenses. And he realized that, wow, he'd been looking at all of these flowers and he had been looking through blue lenses. So what he was seeing was something completely different than what I was seeing. And this is a very simple example of what we think is what we're seeing is not necessarily what everybody else is seeing, and it's not everybody else's experience of that. And we also know that birds see so many different spectrums of light than we see. Dogs see different things than we see. We're all having the same experience. We're all having the same like actual physical things. The circumstances do not change, but the way that we are seeing them, and therefore the way that we individually are each experiencing them, is completely different. When you change the way that you look at the world that you look at changes. I changed my lenses this week. Two ways that I changed my lenses this week, and really reflecting on the lens change concept and this quote revealed something for me that I want to share with you, because I think that this could be profound for you in your own way as well. And maybe even this specific lesson that I learned might be profound for you. And then we're going to get to diving into AI. So when we talk about this perspective shift, I want to give the example of you are driving down the street and somebody comes very close up to you and gets really, really, really close to your bumper. You could have the experience of being scared, of being afraid, of feeling like this person is being aggressive with you. You could have the experience of being pissed off, of feeling like that person has it out for you. You could have the experience of not noticing at all and being in a state of complete bliss because you're not even paying attention. The same circumstances, all of it is the story that you are telling yourself based on whatever experiences you've had in the past. If you had previously had an experience of getting rear-ended or getting in a wreck, you might see it as a fearful thing. If you've had the experience of just having a lot of road rage, you probably are going to perceive it as somebody aggressing on you. If you are just blissed out all the time and just not caring about whatever everybody else is doing and super present to your experience, you're just lolly dying down the road, and whatever happens and great either way. So we can all be having the same circumstances. It's the lens that we're looking through. It's our perspective. It's our previous stories that we're hanging on to, unconscious stories that are playing in our minds that are creating the experience. Now you can apply this to everything in your life. The way that you look at things is the way that you experience them. Because if you look at it as they are raging, you are going to start to feel a little bit enraged. You are going to start to feel irritated. If you experience it as and look at it through the lens of something scary might happen, you are going to feel fear in your body. If you're totally unaware, you are going to keep floating right along. The experience that you have changes based on the perspective that you are looking through. So then we take this into our everyday actions that we are doing in our businesses and our lives and our work and all everyday interactions, not just in our vehicles. That if you look at life as being hard, or you look at a task as being hard, it's going to be hard. If you look at a task as being easy, sure, there might be like some challenge there, but it is going to be experienced by you through the lens of ease. And therefore, your experience will be easy. You can look at something as that it's going to be a lesson. And so then you will therefore receive a lesson. You can look at doing a task through the lens of this is something that is going to bring me delight, and therefore it will bring you delight. And so it's wild when we really sit down and we realize how much we have been habituated into the hard, because that's what society does. We live in a society that we believe that everything is challenging, everything is hard, everything is scarce. But that's not necessarily the way that you have to experience life. You can be la-di-da floating down the highway with no awareness of somebody who is riding on your tail, because does it really make that much of a difference? Would you behave any differently that because that person is up on your butt? If you're afraid, you might actually tap your brake, which actually makes you create more danger for yourself. If you're angry, you might speed up, which actually might create more danger and aggression for others around you. So then we see that we actually create more of the experience that we are having based on our lens and our perspective that we're seeing life through. So here's my big lesson. As I was simply sitting and just reflecting on this because of Joey's glasses thing that he had happen, and then I made a little Instagram reel using this quote from Wayne Dyer. But as I was reflecting on this, I thought, oh my gosh, for the past decade or more, really since I started this self-development journey and really kind of coming back into entrepreneurship and all of the growth that I have experienced over the last decade, I have definitely looked at every experience that I've had as a lesson. And I'm proud of that. I feel like I've learned and I've grown so much because of my perspective. Everything in life is a lesson. I will learn something. I will gain something. There's something that is in it for me that it's a lesson. But as I was writing this Instagram caption, I wrote, if you look at life as hard, it's going to be hard. If you look at life as scarce, it's going to be scarce. If you see it as abundant, it will be abundant. If you look at an experience as a lesson, you're going to see it as a lesson. If you look at an experience as joyful and playful and so easy and fun and an opportunity to be even more free, it will be joyful and playful and fun and an opportunity to be even more free. And then I thought, huh. I'm looking at every experience in life as an opportunity for a lesson. Great. But am I looking at every single, even me, the person who's like, fuck around to get paid, which by the way, this is my message because it's my lesson. But even somebody who teaches this and shares this with people and is like looking through this lens as much as I can, I obviously am speaking about it because I'm learning it, that I could be looking through the lens so much more, so much more. I'm sharing this with you because so can you probably, of this is an opportunity for me to feel even more joyful, even more free, even more at ease. Every single thing that I experience in life could be an opportunity for me to open up to even more of that ease and joy and playfulness and fun and silliness and awe and all of the things that I personally attune my vibration to every day. I'm attuning my vibration, which is a huge part of my practice. And what's the perspective I'm looking through? Is it through the lens of joy and ease and everything that I can create? Or am I sometimes looking through the lesson of, or the lens of, of it's a lesson, which it is, but I already know that. And we get to the point where we get so good at this. Like, this is probably not the first time you've heard this quote. If you've been in the self-development world for a long time, maybe it is, and that's totally cool. But this quote from Wayne Dyer of, when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. You've probably been doing this. You've been learning the lessons. So what's the next? What's the next perspective shift for you? And I've been at that place. I'm like, I know that there's a new shift. There's something new that's here for me. And I believe that for me this week, that was that unlock. And so I wanted to pay that forward to you. Wanted to pay that forward because I feel like that was a really big unlock for me this week. Another thing that I've been thinking about this week, which is really what I want to shift. If we can, just, if I could help you change this lens just a teeny tiny bit this week, just a little bit of a shift in the way that you're seeing things, I feel like we're missing an opportunity here, where there's potentially the opportunity, there's a window. And I'm going to explain this with a story that I read a while back. This was back when I was deep in the design world. I was working in corporate America, in marketing and in advertising. And the designers that I worked with, our clients were constantly asking us for us to stick a QR code on things. And they were like, no, those things are terrible. They're stupid. I don't want to do them. And so we were always fighting. The designers never wanted to put the thing, and yeah, they're really ugly, but that's kind of the point here. They never wanted to put it on. And so we're fighting with our clients all the time. And as we can see, especially in the time of COVID, we really started to adopt the QR code. I read this whole breakdown of how QR codes came out and what happened with them and the opportunity that we missed. And I think this is very akin to what's happening right now with AI, and where we have this window for those of us who are just open-hearted, like the good creative designers of this world, these beautiful designers who could be seeing AI as this opportunity, but instead we're seeing it as something bad. So when the QR codes came out, there was the opportunity, if designers had embraced them instead of fighting them, instead of just saying these are stupid and these are dumb and they're useless and people can just use a URL and go to a website, they can just type it in, we don't need these dumb QR code things. This person who was writing this article said, we had an opportunity to make QR codes pretty. Like, we could have designed them. We could have made it normalized for QR codes to be cool looking. They don't have to look like this ugly blob thing that they are, but because designers fought it and they said, we don't want these. We don't want anything to do with it. We didn't design them. We allowed them to just be this hideous, ugly stamp of a thing that we use. And now it's normalized. And now people know what a QR code looks like. And because now in the mainstream, we understand that ugly blob thing, QR code, that's how we're stuck with it. And so we could have brought creativity and love and just beauty and magic into this very simple thing called a QR code, but instead we fought it. And so now it's just this ugly blob. So here's where I see this, and where I'd love for all of us to shift our perspective a little bit, is that We are seeing AI as this thing that's coming in and taking jobs. It's coming in and it's like it's hurting the earth. And these things are important. I'm not saying that they're not, and I'm not saying that that's not happening. It very much is. At the same time, we're in the early stages, just like the early stages of this hideous QR code thing. We have the opportunity right now to shape it, and to shape it for the betterment of people, for the betterment of society, for the betterment of the world. And those of us who will probably fight it the hardest, the people who are just against it, are actually the ones that, if you were to see that this is happening anyway, this is definitely something just like this damn QR code that's going to be a part of our lives. There's just no doubt that it is going to be, because of the capabilities of it, because of what it's going to do for us. If we could just open up the aperture just a little bit and ask ourselves, how am I looking at this tool? Am I looking at this tool as something that could make the world better? Or am I looking at this tool as something that is an aggressor? Am I looking at this tool as something that I'm afraid of? So put yourself in the driver's seat of the car, with AI being the thing that's coming up on your bumper. How are you seeing it? Are you just going to be somebody who carries on in your life anyway? Which is very much possible. Will you see it as something that's coming at you? Will you see it as something to be feared? Or will you see it as something that you can partner with, that could create more joy and more ease somehow? Can you see it as something to maybe even actually, what if that driver is actually wanting to come ride along in your car with you, and that's why they're getting up on your bumper? Maybe it's somebody who's got some helpful advice, who has something that they want to give you. They're actually just waving you on the road. It's so funny. We actually did have an experience a couple weeks ago where this lady, she was trying to communicate to us, and Joey thought she was trying to like cut in. And this is just like a thing. He just really doesn't like when people try to like speed up ahead of the big line of cars that's trying to get on the highway and they cut in. It is kind of annoying, right? So he thinks that that's what she's trying to do. Well, we didn't let her in. The person behind us did let her in. She was actually just trying to turn. She wasn't trying to do what we thought she was trying to do. She just needed to turn, and she was just looking for anybody to let her through so that she could turn. So it's like, we don't know the story of the intention behind it. So a little bit of an aside, but it helps us to see we don't know. And the thing with AI is that we have the opportunity to actually shape it. We have the opportunity to change it. If we're seeing it as scary, it's going to be scary. And then more reasons are going to come out for it to be scary. And we might actually even accidentally co-create more reasons for it to be scary. But if we see it as an opportunity to democratize our knowledge, as an opportunity to support more people, as an opportunity to create more beautiful things in this earth, and to partner with it and to infuse it with our loving knowledge, with our loving energy, and not just with this kind of like reductive kind of thinking, we could shape this thing into something that creates incredibly wild, cool things. And I think regardless, that is going to happen. There's going to be wild, cool things. But what I want you to hear is that you could make money if you really open your eyes and the opportunities, the skills that you have, the talents that you have. Is there a chance for you to create something that can help people in a bigger way using this beautiful tool? It's here and it's available to all of us. In the past few weeks, I've really been changing my perspective on this. I've been consuming a lot more, less fear-based content around artificial intelligence, and more of an opening perspective of it. I myself have had downloads of so many ideas of things that this could help my clients. this could actually help me to scale something bigger in a way that it could help more people. This is something that could help me so that I don't have to do this particular thing all the time. I can step in and do it in a different way. I have a method that I teach to my clients, and I just suddenly had this idea like, oh my gosh, I could partner with AI to help this be in their pockets. So what do you have? What do you have that you already do, that you already know? Is there a way that you could bring that to more people? Because the opportunity is there if you see it as a partner, as this beautiful thing. I mean, everything is energy. And so too is this intelligence that we're bringing into the field. It's energy, and we can do whatever we want with energy. You are an alchemist. You can create energy into something that is aggressive. You can create energy into something that is fearful, or you can create using loving energy. And so, really think about how you're wielding, and the way that you wield your wand is through the perspective that you see the world, because the way that we see the world is the way that we move. And so I hope that this example today has given you a little bit of thought, just a little something to think about. How am I seeing the world? What is the lens that I am looking through? Could I look through a lens of, wow, this is an opportunity for me to experience more joy. This is an opportunity for me to feel even more clear. This is an experience for me to be even more on my path. And if you want to join me in this AI revolution, how am I looking at AI? Am I looking at it through a lens of, this is an opportunity to bring more joy and ease and abundance into the world? Or am I looking at it through that fear-based lens? Give yourself a little food for thought today, my friends. I would love to hear what you think about this episode. If there's conversations that you want to have on this, know that these are in the expansion room. That is a beautiful place to be talking about all things joy, fun, ease, more abundance into your life. Come on in. You can go to jenliss.com/expansion. Come and join us in there. It's just the best time. I love every single soul who is in there with us. So come on in, stay here tuned to the podcast. And if this is something that supported you, I would love to hear about it. You can go on Apple Podcasts, scroll all the way down to the bottom, leave a review of this episode. It would mean the world to me. I'll see you in the next episode. Keep shining your beautiful light out there for all to see. I'll see you next time.